Well, hey there everyone. Well, it's a warm but wet and muddy day here at the Tod McDonald Rolling Mill project. We did some crane work this morning, and as you can see, the first of the mill stands is now in position on the concrete. I brought this one over here just to try to give me an idea of what it's going to look like here, how much space it's going to take up, how it's going to be oriented, all that. We still have, of course, put the foundation bolts in and grout the shoes in place, but I just wanted to get a good look at it. Now that we have the crane here, we can do such things. We've been working steadily on getting all these bearing blocks and all that cleaned up. This one here goes on the bevel gearbox. This one is just about where this one's going to sit. I think it's going to sit up in the air a little bit higher, but that bearing block is needed to support one end of the shaft coming out of the bevel gearbox, which is going to sit right there. So, you guys remember the way it used to be around here when we had the green engine house and all that, and now it's just a bunch of mud. But it's only going to be muddy for a while, until we get out of the wet season here, and then we can scrape some of this mud up, put some stone down, and won't be a problem anymore. So doing a little bit of thinking here about getting that bevel gearbox base in place, and it weighs about 27,000 pounds, which is it's a bit more than our machines can lift. So how are we going to get it over here without spending a lot of money and having somebody come out with a big industrial forklift that can pick it up? So more about that in a little bit. Once we get some more steady warm days, we're going to bring the other two mill shoes over, set them in place, and start lining everything up here and getting all of this. I think we're going to test fit it, get it in position, make sure everything's going to work out all right, and then once we have an idea of where everything's supposed to go, then pull all it back off, drill the holes for the foundation bolts and all that, and then set everything back up and epoxy the bolts in, and that's the final setup. Having that Grove crane here is really going to make things easier, because now I can just set the crane right here. Once I get all this stuff out of the way here, it's just super simple just to pick something up off the concrete, swing it over, set it down over here, do what we have to do, and then bring it back over. It's going to make things a lot easier. And there she is right there, the star of the show. Best $5,000 we ever spent, I think. 1968 Grove, the RT58, 14-ton capacity. It's got the long boom on it. That was, I think that it may have been purchased new by U.S. Steel, and it may have been at that plant its entire life. The earliest I found a record of it was like 1981, just when they were getting started with McDonald Steel. So it's entirely likely that crane was there U.S. Steel days. Well, it's here now, and I'm using it just about every day. So let's discuss this dilemma here of getting this big gearbox in place. I would really like to find a way to move it over here on one of our flat cars. I mean, we have that last one in line, the W31. It's got a big heavy plate deck on it. I'm pretty sure that'll handle 27,000 pounds. So here's the idea. Now I know that the forklift won't pick that up, but it'll drag it. So if I can get under that thing again and drag it over and get it over close to the track. Let's see, move some of this stuff out of the way, get under it, drag it over here onto the track. Then maybe I can get the crane over here and then pick up one end of it, get it on some cribbing, and then pick the other end of it, and then just kind of walk it up and get it up high enough, and maybe even having a couple beams under it to span over the track, and then slide that W31 car underneath of it. And then it's a simple matter of just pulling it down the track around the bend. And then so once we get it down there, then putting a couple beams underneath of it, or a couple rails or something, and some supports, and then basically, you know, on some skates, and then just skate it over onto the foundation, jack it up, get all that stuff out from under it. That might be the way to go. It's certainly more interesting and challenging than having someone come over and do it for us and then signing a check. What's the point of having all this stuff if we can't play around with it and, you know, do things the way the steel mills would have done it if they had to do the same thing with the equipment they had available? So yeah, we'll give it a try. So we'll be bringing the crane up here at some point and picking all this off to get to those long mill shoes there, and so we can get those over onto the concrete. Probably tear the pinion stand apart right here and get all the components out and get that thing cleaned up and take it over piecemeal and then put it back together. These other mill stands, we'll just leave them sitting over here. So we'll probably get that going this spring here and get all this stuff done. And this gear's got to go out to get shortened, and that's the one that goes between the bevel gearbox and the crankshaft. So we'll get that work done here. I'm hoping that by, well, I don't know, I don't even think it would take into summer to get the rolling mill installed, because this is all actually pretty simple. I mean, there's not a lot that has to be done. The hardest part's, you know, getting a drive shaft shortened. The rest of it is, you know, moving components in place and lining it up and drilling holes and pouring grout and setting stuff up. So we're in a pretty good shape here if things keep going the way they are. And let's pray for a nice long dry summer so that we can get a lot of work done without a lot of mud. Here are a couple other things that just showed up here the other day. So this yellow shed was in the warehouse at McDonald up front, and it kind of caught my attention for one reason, which is that it's extremely heavily built. Take a look at this thing. I mean, it's all 8-inch I-beams, 8-inch I-beams up here, 8-inch I-beams down there, 1/4-inch plate for the walls. I don't know what they were using this thing for, but my God, this thing is stoutly built. It's like 6,400 pounds. So we definitely wanted it. We're going to use it for something having to do with the rolling mill. Not quite sure exactly yet what it's going to be, but I just couldn't let this thing get cut up. And then there's also this blue shed here. What's nice about this one is that this shed here doesn't have a floor in it. So if I have something big that I want to get out of the weather, I can just pick this up with a crane and set it over on top of it and get it out of the weather. I do have a couple things that I do want to do that with, so once we get things situated here, we'll put that to use. Let's see. Yeah, not too much else going on here right now that I can think of. Yeah, the place looks a disaster, but that's the way it looks every spring around here, because in the middle of winter, just drop it and go. And so we'll put it away when things get a little bit drier. Yeah, another load of beams we brought over from the plant. We found a jib for the Grove crane. That'll be useful. So we're now thinking of our building addition. I don't know exactly how wide. I think 26 or 27 foot wide. We're just going to come off the edge of the roof line there, straight over about 27 feet, and that entire side of the building is add on to it. We have the that crane that we saved out of the roll shop and the runways to go in that. I met with the Shenango Steel Buildings last week, who built this or fabricated this building for us, about getting started on the design work for that addition, so that in 2026 we can start putting that building up and get the rolling mill and everything under roof. So, all right, everyone, I've rambled on long enough. Time to go out and get muddy some more, and I'll talk to you later.